certified public accountant, and a 4th-year law student. At sa channel na ito ay magbibigay ko sa inyo ng mga knowledge, mga understanding, and inspiration about accounting and law. Kaya, kung hindi ka pa nakasubscribe, mag-subscribe ka na. At kalembangin mo, yes, kalembangin talaga ang notification bell para updated ka sa aking mga posts. Dahil sa channel na to, hindi ka lang basta makakaliw. Matututo ka pa! Promise! So, ganun na nga guys. So, ang video ito ay intended ko para sa mga law student. No? Papakita ko sa inyo yung ginawa kong way para mag-memorize ng mga titles ng rules of court. So, actually, ang nagagawa ko pala hanggang Rule 57. So, yung mga subjects dito is, makukover niya is yung civil procedure, and so, meron din. Tapos civil procedure mostly, kasi hindi ko pa nalagay dito yung mga, sa criminal procedure, hindi ko nalagay. So muna tayo sa civil procedures. So, yun. So, nalagay ko dito is Rule 1 to Rule 57 pa lang yung nasulat ko. So, papakita ko siya sa inyo mamaya dun sa paper, no? Na ito, yun, way ko siya para ma-memorize kasi importante na kailangan alam natin yung title ng rule para pag hinanap natin kung anong provision yung mag-a-apply on a particular hypothetical case or situation, di ba? Ay alam natin kung saan tayo titingin, di ba? Hindi lang puro Google lahat kailangan may alam ka din. Diba? Kung saan siya banda na card. So, gano'n. So, maganda siya talaga na ma-memorize natin yung rules of court. Kahit yung sa title lang. No? So, yun. So, papakita ko siya sa inyo. And I hope na meron kayong matutunan. Lalo na kung ikaw ay isang law student, no? Struggling. Just like myself. Just like me. I'm struggling. I'm struggling. Char. So, yun. So, guys. So, ito yung way ko pag-memorize. Kita nyo guys, ito ang aking mga Manila paper. Yung isang punit na. Ang nasulat ko pa lang dyan, yung Rule 1 hanggang Rule 57. Ay, 50. Yan, 57 yun nandun. Nandun sa part na yun. So, ayan siya. Nilalagay ko siya dyan para, pag wala akong magawa, tambay ako, titingin ako dyan. Tapos, ayun, gradually, memorize ko siya kahit na pagod ka, kakagaling mo ng workout kasi dyan yung yung yoga mat ko and din yung mga dumbbells, diba? Mapagtingin ka dyan, mas lalo ka napagod, charot na. Kumbaga, mas lalo, ma-memorize mo talaga siya. Just, parang magiging part siya ng sistema mo. So, ayan. Basahin natin siya, isa-isa. Rules of Court. Rule 1, General Provisions. Rule 2, Cause of Action. Rule 3, Parties to Civil Action. Rule 4, Venue of Actions. Rule 5, Uniform Procedure in Trial Courts. Rule 6, Kinds of Pleadings. Rule 7, Parts and Contents of a Pleading. Rule 8, Manner of Making Allegations in Pleadings. Rule 9, Effect of Failure to Plead. Rule 10, Amended and Supplemental Pleadings. Rule 11, When to file responsive pleadings. Rule 12, Bill of Particulars. Rule 13, Rule 13, Filing and service of pleadings, judgments, and other papers. Rule 14, Summons. Rule 15, Motions. Rule 16, Motion to dismiss. Rule 17, Dismissal of actions. Rule 18, Pretrial. Rule 19, Intervention. Rule 20, Calendar of Cases. Rule 21, Subpoena. Rule 22, Computation of Time. Rule 23, Deposition pending actions. Rule 24, Depositions before actions pending appeal. Rule 25, Interrogatories to parties. Rule 26, Admission by adverse party. Rule 27, Production or inspection of documents or things. Rule 28, Physical and mental examination of persons. Rule 29, refusal to comply with modes of discovery. Rule 30, trial. Rule 31, consolidation or severance. Rule 32, trial by commissioner. Rule 33, demurrer to evidence. Rule 34, judgment on the pleadings. Rule 35, summary judgments. Rule 36, judgments, final orders, and entry thereof. Rule 37, new trial or reconsideration. Rule 38, relief from judgments, orders, or other proceedings. Rule 39, execution, satisfaction, and effect of judgments. Rule 40, appeal from municipal trial courts to the regional trial courts. Rule 41, appeal from the regional trial courts. Rule 42, petition for review from the regional trial courts to the Court of Appeals. Rule 43, appeals from the Court of Tax Appeals and quasi-judicial agencies to the Court of Appeals. Rule 44, ordinary appealed cases. Rule 45, appeal by certiorari to the Supreme Court. Rule 46, original cases. Rule 47, annulment of judgments or final orders and resolutions. Rule 48, preliminary conference. Rule 49, oral argument. Rule 50, dismissal of appeal. Rule 51, judgment. Rule 52, motion for reconsideration. Rule 53, new trial. Rule 54, internal business. Rule 55, application of judgment and final resolution. Rule 56, original cases and appealed cases. Rule 57, preliminary attachment. Hindi ko na alam yung sunod, hindi ko nasulat. Tingnan natin. 57, Rule 50, saan yan? Judicial Rule 58. What is Rule 58? Rule 58 is Rule 58, preliminary injunction. Rule 59, I think receivership. Correct. Receivership. Rule 60, replevin. Tama ako, replevin. Rule 61, support pendente lite. Support pendente lite, correct. Rule 62, interpleader. Rule 63, declaratory relief. Declaratory relief and similar reliefs or similar remedies. Okay? So, Rule 1, general provisions, cause of action, parties to civil action, venue of actions, uniform procedure in trial courts. Rule 6, parts and contents of a pleading. Rule 7, mali pala, kinds of pleadings pala yung Rule 6. Parts and contents of a pleading. Rule 7, manner of making allegations in pleadings, effect of failure to plead, amended and supplemental pleadings. Let's try to memorize. Okay, to memorize. So, Rule 1, general provisions. Rule 2, cause of action. Rule 3, parties to civil action. Rule 4, venue of actions. Rule 5, Rule 5, nakalimutan ko na. Uniform procedure in trial courts. Rule 6, kinds of pleadings. Rule 7, parts and contents of a pleading. Rule 8, manner of making allegations in pleadings. Rule 9, effect of failure to plead. Rule 10, amended and supplemental pleadings. Okay? Amended and supplemental pleadings. Okay? Okay, ulitin natin. Rules of court. Okay? Rule 1, general provisions. Rule 2, cause of action. Rule 3, parties to civil action. Rule 4, venue of actions. Rule 5, uniform procedure in trial courts. Rule 6, kinds of pleadings. Rule 7, parts and contents of a pleading. Rule 8, manner of making allegations in pleadings. Rule 9, effect of failure to plead. Rule 10, amended and supplemental pleadings. Okay? Correct. Memorize na natin. Ito. Naman tayo to 20. Rule 11, when to file responsive pleadings. Rule 12, bill of particulars. Rule 13, filing and service of pleadings, judgments, and other papers. Rule 14, summons. Rule 15, motions. Rule 16, motion to dismiss. Rule 17, dismissal of action. Rule 18, pre-trial. Rule 19, intervention. Rule 20, calendar of cases. Okay, so let's try to memorize this one. 11, when to file responsive pleadings. 12, bill of particulars.
filing and service of pleadings, judgments, and other papers. 14, summons. 15, motions, motion to dismiss. 17, dismissal of action. 18, pre-trial intervention calendar of cases. Let's try to memorize, okay? Wait lang. Rules 11 to 20. Rule 11, when to file responsive pleadings. Tama? Rule 12, bill of particulars. Ayan. Rule 13, filing and service of judgments, pleadings, and other papers. Filing and service of pleadings, judgments, and other papers. Okay. Filing and service of pleadings, judgments, and other papers. That's 13. Rule 14. Summons, I think summons. Tama ako, summons. Rule 15, motions. Rule 16, motion to dismiss. Rule 17, dismissal of actions. Rule 18, pre-trial. Rule 19, intervention. Rule 20, calendar of cases. Tama ba? Okay. Tama naman ata. Okay, rule hanggang rule 30 lang muna i-memorize natin. Okay, rules of court. Rule 21, subpoena. Rule 22, computation of time. Rule 23, deposition pending actions. Rule 24, deposition pending actions before actions pending appeal. Rule 25, interrogatories to parties. Rule 26, admission by adverse party. Rule 27, production or inspection of documents or things. Rule 28, physical and mental examination of persons. Rule 29, refusal to comply with modes of discovery. And Rule 30, trial. Okay, ulitin natin. 21, subpoena. 22, computation of time. 23, deposition pending actions. 24, deposition before actions pending appeal. 25, interrogatories to parties. 26, admission by adverse party. 27, production or inspection of documents or things. Rule 28, physical and mental examination of persons. Rule 29, refusal to comply with modes of discovery. Rule 30, trial. Okay. Parang mahirapan ako i-memorize to, ha.